Hey everyone, it's Rhonda. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me. I am very glad that you are here. Today I am working in my Moab journal. This is the journal that I made out of a Dollar Tree composition book. I do have that video listed on my channel. If you haven't seen it yet, I will go ahead and link it down below. But I am really loving how this is turning out. It has been so much fun creating in this journal. Now, if you've seen that video, you know that I made a journal for me and for my best friend that I took this girl's weekend trip with. And I am working on them at the same time. So I'll do a couple pages in hers and then I will duplicate those pages in mine. So it's taking a little bit longer than normally I would like, but at the end, I'm going to be glad that they're both done at the same time and then I can move on and work on something completely different. So right now I am working in mine. So what I am planning on doing today is finishing up the Canyonlands portion of our trip. This was our first day in Moab, our first full day in Moab. We went out and we explored Canyonland and Dead Horse Point State Park, and those are the photos that I am working on right now. So Canyonlands is just about done and I'm ready to move on to Dead Horse, but I need to finish up Canyonlands first. So what I have is a bunch of photos left that I need to fit in my journal. But I'm at the point right now where I need to consolidate some space. And so what I'm going to do is create my final page in Canyonlands that will allow me to use up the rest of my photos. So what I'm going to do, I'll find my canyon where I'm at here. Okay, so I am at the center of my signature right now. This is my first signature. This book was created with 2 signatures. I am at the center of my first signature, and the way that this signature was built, I have these two smaller pages here. Now, I'm going to use this side, but I don't need the other side because again, I'm trying to consolidate space and I only want to use one more page to finish this up. So what I have done is I have attached a photo to the back side of this. Now, I'll show you quickly what the photos are for. So each of my different park sections, I have gone ahead and I've created a large photo and I've cut it in half. I've added, where we were at. This one is for Canyonlands, and I've cut it in half and I've attached it to my pages. So now that I'm at the point where I need to do Dead Horse, again, I don't need this backside, but what I do need is 2 sides or 2 places where I can add my 2 photos. So this will be the starting section of Dead Horse Point State Park. So I've attached this photo. This one isn't attached yet. No. Okay. So I've attached this photo to the back side of this paper, and I'm going to go ahead and work on this. Obviously, I don't want the paper to be smaller. So the first thing I need to do is cover this with a piece of paper. And I pulled out a scrap piece that I have. I trimmed it down, and I'm going to go ahead and attach this page here. So that's the first step to this. And I'm debating, do I want to use that side or that side? I think I like the other side. I like the colors it pulls in, the browns and the greens from the other side. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach this, and it's going to completely cover up this piece of paper, which obviously when I was building my signature, I didn't know that I wasn't going to use. So yes, it is kind of a waste of paper, but it's okay. It's all right. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this and make sure that we've got that all covered. And I'm going to need to trim that there a little bit. Okay, but there's my background paper for this page. What I think I want to do is use this bag. So again, we're going to use up a lot of ephemera from Canyonlands that I have left over. This is a bag that I got at Canyonlands when I bought some souvenir kind of stuff, and I want to use this portion of it. Now the backside has these really cool they kind of look like stamps, like national park, national monument stamps, but there were arches and there were Canyonland on here. So I've cut those out and I've used the majority of the Canyonlands. I think I might have a couple left that I can use, but rather than just throw it away, I thought I would use the back of this bag and use that to create a pocket for this page. So let me slide this up here and let me trim down this bag. Get this a more manageable size. I'm not going to use any of this bottom part here. I don't need that. I just really want the part that says Canyonland Natural History Association. And I'm not going to use any more of these, so I can just throw that away. We didn't go to any of these other parts here, so I'm just going to throw that away. All right, so now I need to figure out how big I want to make this pocket. So obviously I need to trim it down on the sides a little. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I think I'm going to give myself an even edge here before I do that. And then we'll trim down some of these. Keeping in mind that I want to still have like a pretty fair size pocket. Okay, so now what I can do is, I think I'm going to have it straight here and then come across here. Let's see what that looks like. So this will be kind of a slash pocket. Maybe like that big. Okay, that will work. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to ink up my edges on this a little bit. I don't know how well it will work because this is obviously very flimsy paper. Okay, that looks all right. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and attach the 3 edges for my pocket. All right. And I think I don't want it at the bottom. I want it to come up a little bit and in a little bit, so that should be okay. There is my pocket. Easy peasy, right? Okay, so now I need to tackle my photos. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is take some of this ephemera that I've got left. So I've got this travel stamps. I love collecting these. I started doing this when we were in Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons, and I collected them throughout our adventure on this trip as well. So these are the travel stamps, and they're very specific to areas of the country. This is the U.S. National Park series, but I've also used one in here. I've also had one that says Moab. So I use that one as well. It just says United States Travel. So there's a whole series of them. This one is from Moab. It's UT04, which I'm assuming is Utah. And then this one is stamp number NP31, which stands for National Park. So I've used the Moab one. I've got this one. I've got another one for Arches. I may have another one for Dead Horse Point as well. So I love using these throughout my journals. So I'm going to go ahead and use this, but obviously I don't have a place on here I'd like to use the whole thing. So I don't have a place to put that. So I think what I'm going to do is use this to put some photos on the back side. And then I'm going to use that as something in my pocket. So let me set this aside and figure out what pictures we want to use for this. So I've got that one. These are all specific. We went to Buck Canyon Overlook, and these are all Buck Canyon. So I kind of want those to be together. But I've got these extra ones over here that I could use. I don't have any that are the vertical 4x3 or 3x4s, but I could use a horizontal. Got that vertical. Or I could do, let's see, I could trim that one down. I could trim this one down because I don't love the shadow that's down here on this. So I could trim that and then add maybe this up here. Or I could do, let's see, maybe that one. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to trim this down. And then I'm going to trim off the little edge because I printed them at 2 3x4s together. And so I had a little bit there that needed to be trimmed off, which is actually perfect because that's going to fit really well on there. And then I can take maybe this one. I can trim down the bottom and trim down the top a little. So I'm going to do that. And I think I just need to trim down the top. We had gorgeous blue skies, like not a cloud in the sky when we were there. It was so pretty. Okay, so if I do that and I do, let me glue this down first. That lined up, and then I can trim off any excess that's there. And then I'm trying to think, I want to utilize the hole. I think I want to like put a ribbon or something in there so that it can easily be pulled out. If I do this one, I think maybe I'll do that one. So let's do, I cut off a little bit too much of the sky on this one and it wasn't covering the hole completely. So that's why I'm changing to a different photo. Okay. And then I can just trim the excess off here. So there we go. Okay, there's using up 2. I'm going to punch a hole in this and add some ribbon on when I'm done. But that one's good. I can put this in here. That will tuck in that pocket. And then, let's see. What else can I do here? I've got this 4x6 photo of my friend and I need to obviously include that. So, let's see how I'm going to use that. I don't have another 4x6 that I could back on this. I do have that, but that doesn't quite fit. This was cut out of a Moab magazine that I got before we left, and I just cut out everything that had anything to do with Canyonlands. So I've got that I could use if I backed this with another piece of paper. This is the back side of a sticker that I already used. No, I need to utilize some photos here. Actually, I just saw this sitting here. This is another one of those, the back part of the bag that had the little stamp looking things. I've got that one here. I could maybe attach it to my pocket there. I kind of like that. Let me trim that down. Sorry, I got sidetracked here for a second. But I know if I don't use it right now, I will end up losing it because it will get buried in the mess that is my desk. Okay. All right, so let's glue that down here. That kind of works right there. Kind of breaks up some of that space up there. Oh, I like that. Okay, back to the task at hand. All right, let's see. I think I could cut down. I'm feeling like I've used this photo somewhere else. I have. No, I didn't. I used a variation of it. Yeah. Okay. So I will go ahead and use that. Let's see. So I could maybe trim this down, trim down 2 of these. This is the one I cut the too much sky off. I could trim a little bit more. Or I could go maybe that way with it. That might work even better. I think I'm gonna find a piece of paper. Actually, will that work? That's too small. Do I have another strap here somewhere? No. I think that's gonna work perfectly on there. I can trim this down and then I can add one of these. Yeah, I think think I'll add one of these, and then I'll add, I've got this piece here that I need to use up as well. The Canyonlands National Park sticker. I collect these things everywhere. So every gift shop we went into, I was like, great, give me all the stickers, all the postcards, all the stamps, all the things. Speaking of stamps, I may have to look and see because I think I have a national park stamp as well that I need to include in here. But again, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay. But I could use the back of this for these other two photos. That's going to work perfect. Okay, let's do this. Let's focus on this one. So I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper. Let me get one here. I've got one laying right here. I could do, this is the back of the cars, but I could do that on there. That might work. Okay, so let's trim this down. And I know this needs to be a 4x6. So let me measure it this way, and then I don't have to pull out my big paper trimmer. Okay. So we'll cut that there. And we'll cut it at 4, and that, in theory, should fit. Okay, make sure. Yep, okay. So we'll go ahead and put this on the back. Okay. Just need to trim off that side just a tiny bit here. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to trim this down. And let me see, can I leave a little bit of this on here? Not really, no. Okay, so we'll trim it all the way down. All right, we should be able to put that there. Yep. Looking good. Okay, there, we've got that on there. And now I think, was this the one I was going to use? I could actually use any of the 3 of these. I think I like that one. That one is definitely like very significant of Canyonlands. Let's see, what I could do though is back that a little bit just to make it stand out. Add a little bit of something on there. It's not going to fit, so I'm just going to put this on the way that it is and maybe find a little something to embellish it up a little bit. Okay, that looks good. All right, let's see. I've got this big geotag, but that's just like way too big. Yeah, that's not going to work, I don't think. Discover. I've got some big words here that I could use. I think I just might do that. Just put that on there and make it simple and be done. Because I need to get on and get the rest of this done too. Okay. So we've got that Discover there. Okay, I like the way that turned out. Easy peasy on the back of that, and that will tuck in here as well. So you can see I've got my two things in my pocket. Okay, so now let's go back to this, the Canyonlands National Park sticker. I think I'm going to take it out of the plastic. I could leave it in there if I wanted to, but I'm going to take it out of there. And then again, I've got a perfect, oh, it's 2 pieces. Okay, I can glue those together. Yeah, I'm going to glue those together. And then I've got this nice spot for tying ribbon there. Okay, so let me glue that down. I think that should be good. Let's see, make sure it's lined up at the top. Actually, that's what I should have done first, because it is off a little bit, but that's all right. That's okay. I can work with that. All right, so now on the back, we can trim these down. I still want the Canyonlands National Park to show. So if I put that one there, and then I can trim off some of this bottom here. Okay, so let's put this on here. Oh. Get that right underneath there. Okay, and then this one, I'm actually going to be trimming off more than I wanted to, but I can come up and cover the bottom part of that. So that's what I'll do. Should have trimmed this one down just a little bit more on the bottom, but that's all right. So we want that to be right there. And I just lost that spot. Is that it? Right? Where is it at? Oh, it's right there. I see it. Okay. Golly. All right. It blended in. Okay. All right. Make that cover up the bottom of it just a little bit, and that's okay. All right. Not loving that, but that's okay. Once I get my ribbon in there, it won't be as noticeable. So I've used up a couple pieces of ephemera, actually 3 pieces, 4 if you count this, 4 pieces of ephemera. Like it, like it. And I think that's all the ephemera that I needed to use. I've still got this, but I don't think I need another something that says Canyonlands National Park. So I'm going to set that aside. Maybe I'll use that in my yearly journal. But let's see. Okay, so we've got those, we've got that. Perfect. Okay, so now all I need to do is figure out some way to put these Buck Canyon photos. And again, I can trim them down. Even though they're all vertical, I can trim them down because I've got a lot of blue sky and I've got a lot of rock in each of these photos. So I can trim them down as I need. So I think what I'm going to do is just grab a piece of, I've got a white piece of scratch paper here. So if I trim these down, I think these two are relatively the same photo, so I don't need to use both of those. I think I'll use whichever one needs the most trimming. I'll figure that out when okay, yeah, okay. So I think what I'm going to do is trim this piece of scratch paper down. And I'm going to attach the photos, 2 on the front, 2 on the back. I think that would work. Or could I squeeze these in enough that I could use this whole thing? Maybe. Let's try that. Okay, so I'm going to leave it the full length, but I'm going to, my photos are 3 inches wide, so I'm going to cut this at 3 inches. And I'm going to use this on the bottom, I think. I'm going to center that so that the sign is on there, and then I can trim off everything else that I don't need on here. So let's come over this way with it a little. This is such a great way to use up these photos. Love it. All right. And rather than taking like 3 or 4 more pages to put all these photos down, I'm only using 1, and I love that. When you need to conserve space, pocket pages are your best friend. You can do so many things with them. Put that off. Okay. So there I've got just enough of the sign that I know that it was the Buck Canyon overlook. And then this one has a lot of sky and a lot of rock here that I can trim off. So I can use, which one? I'm going to put that down with this one maybe. Okay, so let's see. I can trim off a lot of sky and a lot of rock with this one. So this one I'm just going to cut. I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to cut because I know that the one here at the top I can do the same thing with. So I can cut off as much as I need to on that one. All right, so let's put this photo down. Spot of glue on that photo to clean that off. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to trim off a lot of the sky, I think, as pretty as it was. And then I can trim off some of this bottom portion. And this one I will need to measure because it's got to fit right on there. And I'm not going to be able to see that again. Gosh, so funny. All right, roughly right there I think is where it's at. Let's see, yep. And then that'll just need to be trimmed down on the side. It's a little bit long there. Okay, so let's put that down. Okay, so we need to do a little bit of trimming here. Okay, that looks good. All right, just like that. Three pictures on there. Done. Okay. Now you can see that I've got a tiny little bit of the white paper showing here on either side. So what I'm going to do is then go in with my ink, and that's going to cover that right up. I've got it on the edges of my photos now, and it's all going to blend, so you can't even tell that it's there. Okay, that looks good. All right, so now on the back, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use these 2 photos. I think I might want to save a little bit of space up at the top and maybe add some embellishments up there just to kind of just to add some decoration to it so it's not just so plain. So, and I can do that easily with this photo because I've got a lot of rock here that I can trim off. This needs to be trimmed down. Get that off on the side there. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and add this one. This was a scrap paper that I used to check the nozzle on my old Canon printer. And rather than throw it away, I knew I could use it as a scrap, so that's what we're doing. All right. I had that on there a little bit crooked. Okay, so we've got that there, and I'm going to go ahead and trim off a bunch of this rocks here. So we've got that. And I've got a little bit of room left up here for embellishing. I think I'm going to cover that. I want to do that first before I put this down. Yeah, so let's see. What do I have? I could use this scrap here and then just maybe tear. Let's see. We can tear that, give a little torn edge there. Normally I would bring it over, but I don't want this to show. You what I could do is take some of this paper and add it to the edge and then overlap it. How far does that come up? That will almost work. I think I'm going to do it. Okay. I'm going to trim off this little branding strip. Okay, so then we will trim this off right there. And I'm going to ink this. And we'll put that there, and then I can trim that down and overlap it. I like that. Okay. And I would normally ink this edge, but it's not going to show. It's going to be covered, so that's why I'm not inking that edge. Okay, there's that. And then, let's see, how far do I want that to come in? I think we'll do that. I'm going to tear this again because, again, it's not going to show. It's going to be covered by this photo. So I'm just going to ink the edges there. And then I will ink this torn edge here. Look at how cool that looks. This is why I love inking paper, especially a torn edge. I just love that look. Okay, so I could bring that down a little. And we'll just stick this on there. Okay, and then this will go right there. And now I've got a space up here where I can add a little bit of embellishment. So now we can put this down. Yeah, it's going to be need to be trimmed just a touch. Okay. Oh, maybe not. Actually, it looks pretty good. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing here that I did on the other side. Just add the ink onto that. The other thing that trimming down these photos does when I cut off, you know, the excess rock or the excess sky, it makes these not look so much like they're the same photos. So this is obviously the same photo of the same place. And so they tend to look the same, but when you cut off the excess, it changes the look of the photo just a little bit. So I really like that. I like the way that that turned out. Okay, so now all I need to do is just embellish that, and that will be done. Loving how this is turning out. I am really, really obsessed with this big geotag. And I really kind of want to use it there. What else could I add? Let's see here. I could add like the little details there, maybe. And then add like something else on top of it. I'm gonna do it. I love geotags, love them. I wish it had multiple sizes in here, but there's only 2. And I don't think I've mentioned it. This is the 49 in Market. I believe it's the Wherever collection. I'll just double check for you real quick. This is the Wherever. This is from the Wherever Ephemera Bits collection. There's so many bits and pieces that I have used. The details comes from that also. And I just love it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this big geotag down. That's going to go there. And then I can put the details there. See what else I've got here that I could use. I've got a lot of tags. I don't know that that would be best in these. What's this one? No, those are way too big. Okay, so I think I might just do the details. Put that down on real quick. And then maybe a floral piece or a butterfly or something there. Let's see what we've got. There's a little butterfly. Oh, I could do that. Look at that. That could not have gone more perfectly with that. Okay. So let's add this little butterfly. Ink those real quick. Okay. There we go. And then maybe a tiny word right there. Let's see what we've got there. All right, we've got white and we've got black options. Oh, how about there's a scenic? How about that? Scenic. Look at that. And then maybe do I have enamel dots that I could use on that? Let's see. A lot of the enamel dots that I have are very pastel colored and probably would not work for this, but that does not look horrible. Some darker. Let's see. Or we've got gold. Gold might work. Or there's, okay. It's like a coppery. Let's do that. I'll grab my tweezers here and we'll just add some little enamel dots to this just to kind of add a little something something here. And we'll put a bigger one maybe right there. And then another little one right there. Okay. There we go. I like that. That turned out cute. So just like that, in a matter of no time at all, I have used up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 photos on one page, technically. So I love that. I was able to use up the rest of my ephemera that I needed that I had bought throughout my trip. So I've got that there. I can go ahead and add this in here. Okay. And then I've got this photo of me and my friend. We'll just put this in here. Pull this up a little bit, make it look good, right? And then we've used our travel stamp. So that will go in there. So now all I have left to do is punch this hole. I think I might add something to all of these. Punch a hole in all of them and add some ribbon or something like that, just to add that and make it easy to pull out. But yeah, I really like the way that turned out. I think it's very cute. Able to use a bag, pieces from the bag. Love it. There you go, just like that, super quick and easy. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to my channel for all things journaling, scrapbooking related. And if you have any comments, please leave those down for me below as well. But otherwise, I will see you guys again later with another video. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye.